Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Support holding a football on end and above the ground preparatory to the kickoff. A short peg put into the ground to hold a golf ball off the ground. Place on a tee. Tee golf balls. The starting place for each hole on a golf course. They were waiting on the first tee. Connect with a tee. T2 pipes. Support holding a football on end and above the ground preparatory to the kickoff. A short peg put into the ground to hold a golf ball off the ground. Place on a tee. Make detailed arrangements or preparations. The starting place for each hole on a golf course. Financial resources provided to make some project possible. The foundation provided support for the experiment. Argue or speak in defense of. She supported the motion to strike. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A military operation, often involving new supplies of men and materiel, to strengthen a military force or aid in the performance of its mission. They called for artillery support. Be the physical support of, carry the weight of. He supported me with one hand while I balanced on the beam. Adopt as a belief. The financial means whereby one lives. He applied to the state for support. A musical part, vocal or instrumental, that supports or provides background for other musical parts. The act of bearing the weight of or strengthening. He leaned against the wall for support. Be a regular customer or client of. Documentary validation. The strongest support for this view is the work of Jones. Establish or strengthen as with new evidence or facts. The evidence supports the defendant. Be behind. Approve of. Support with evidence or authority or make more certain or confirm. Give moral or psychological support, aid, or courage to. She supported him during the illness. Aiding the cause or policy or interests of. The president no longer has the support of his own party. Any device that bears the weight of another thing. There was no place to attach supports for a shelf. Play a subordinate role to another performer. Olivier supported Gielgud beautifully in the second act. Something providing immaterial assistance to a person or cause or interest. The policy found little public support. Supporting structure that holds up or provides a foundation. The statue stood on a marble support. Support materially or financially. He does not support his natural children. The activity of providing for or maintaining by supplying with money or necessities. His support kept the family together. A wooden pin pushed or driven into a surface. A wooden block built into a masonry wall so that joinery structure can be nailed to it. A holder attached to the gunwale of a boat that holds the oar in place and acts as a fulcrum for rowing. Small markers inserted into a surface to mark scores or define locations, etc. A prosthesis that replaces a missing leg. A wooden pin pushed or driven into a surface. Succeed in obtaining a position. Informal terms for the leg. Fasten or secure with a wooden pin. Peg a tent. Pierce with a wooden pin or knock or thrust a wooden pin into. Regulator that can be turned to regulate the pitch of the strings of a stringed instrument. Stabilize, the price of a commodity or an exchange rate, by legislation or market operations. The weak currency was pegged to the US dollar. Sports equipment used in playing golf. Introduce. This poses an interesting question. Be a mystery or bewildering to. A deliberate pretense or exaggerated display. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. We don't know the woman who posed for Leonardo so often. Behave affectedly or unnaturally in order to impress others. Pretend to be someone you are not, sometimes with fraudulent intentions. She posed as the Tsar's daughter. Affected manners intended to impress others. A posture assumed by models for photographic or artistic purposes. Attribute or give. She put too much emphasis on the last statement. Formulate in a particular style or language. I wouldn't put it that way. Arrange thoughts, ideas, temporal events. I put these memories with those of bygone times. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Make an investment. The option to sell a given stock, or stock index or commodity future, at a given price before a given date. Estimate. We put the time of arrival at 8 p.m. Adapt. Put these words to music. Cause someone to undergo something. He put her to the torture. Cause to be in a certain state. Cause to be in a certain relation. That song put me in awful good humor. A narrative poem of popular origin. Characteristic of those who are not members of the clergy. The lay ministry. Put in a horizontal position. Lay the books on the table. A narrative song with a recurrent refrain. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Impose as a duty, burden, or punishment. Lay a responsibility on someone. Lay eggs. This hen doesn't lay. Not of or from a profession. A lay opinion as to the cause of the disease. Prepare or position for action or operation. Lay a fire. An unofficial association of people or groups. The smart set goes there. Get ready for a particular purpose or event. Set up an experiment. Several exercises intended to be done in series. He did 4 sets of the incline bench press. Representation consisting of the scenery and other properties used to identify the location of a dramatic production. The sets were meticulously authentic. A relatively permanent inclination to react in a particular way. The set of his mind was obvious. Disappear beyond the horizon. The sun sets early these days. Decide upon or fix definitely. Put or set, seeds, seedlings, or plants, into the ground. Establish as the highest level or best performance. Set a record. Urge to attack someone. set down according to a plan. A carefully laid table with places set for 4 people. Usually followed by to, or for, on the point of or strongly disposed. We are set to go at any time. Converted to solid form, as concrete. Make ready or suitable or equip in advance for a particular purpose or for some use, event, etc. Determined or decided upon as by an authority. The time set for the launching. Equip with sails or masts. Insert a nail or screw below the surface, as into a countersink. Locate. The film is set in Africa. Fixed and unmoving. With eyes set in a fixed glassy stare. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Adapt for performance in a different way. Set this poem to music. Psychology, being temporarily ready to respond in a particular way. The subject set led them to solve problems the familiar way and to overlook the simpler solution. Become gelatinous. Situated in a particular spot or position. A house set on a hilltop. Fix conclusively or authoritatively. Set the rules. Evil Egyptian god with the head of a beast that has high square ears and a long snout, brother and murderer of Osiris. Arrange attractively. Alter or regulate so as to achieve accuracy or conform to a standard. Estimate. The process of becoming hard or solid by cooling or drying or crystallization. He tested the set of the glue. Bear fruit. Set in type. My book will be typeset nicely. A group of things of the same kind that belong together and are so used. A set of books. Any electronic equipment that receives or transmits radio or TV signals. The early sets ran on storage batteries. Apply or start. Set fire to a building. A unit of play in tennis or squash. They played 2 sets of tennis after dinner. Being below the horizon. The moon is set. Fix in a border. The goldsmith set the diamond. Give a fine, sharp edge to a knife or razor. Mathematics, an abstract collection of numbers or symbols. The set of prime numbers as infinite. Put into a certain state. Cause to be in a certain state. Set the house afire. Put into a position that will restore a normal state. Set a broken bone. Set to a certain position or cause to operate correctly. Set clocks or instruments. The act of putting something in position. He gave a final set to his hat. The descent of a heavenly body below the horizon. Before the set of sun. A condition or position in which you find yourself. The unpleasant situation, or position, of having to choose between 2 evils. A job in an organization. The spatial property of a place where or way in which something is situated. The position of the hands on the clock. The particular portion of space occupied by something. A rationalized mental attitude. An opinion that is held in opposition to another in an argument or dispute. A way of regarding situations or topics, etc. The arrangement of the body and its limbs. The relative position or standing of things or especially persons in a society. Atheists do not enjoy a favorable position in American life. A point occupied by troops for tactical reasons. Put into a certain place or abstract location. The act of putting something in a certain place. An item on a list or in a sequence. Moved from third to fifth position. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Cause to be in an appropriate place, state, or relation. In team sports, the role assigned to an individual player. What position does he play? The act of positing, an assumption taken as a postulate or axiom. The appropriate or customary location. The cars were in position. A job in an organization. Assign a location to. A point located with respect to surface features of some region. This is a nice place for a picnic. Assign a rank or rating to. The particular portion of space occupied by something. He put the lamp back in its place. A particular situation. If you were in my place, what would you do? Assigned to a station. A space reserved for sitting, as in a theater or on a train or airplane. He sat in someone else's place. Recognize as being. Establish the identity of someone or something. Where you live at a particular time. Your place or mine. Identify the location or place of. Locate. Take a place in a competition, often followed by an ordinal. Put into a certain place or abstract location. A public square with room for pedestrians. Make an investment. Proper or designated social situation. He overstepped his place. A blank area. Any area set aside for a particular purpose. Who owns this place? Estimate. An item on a list or in a sequence. In the second place. Intend, something, to move towards a certain goal. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Took his place. A general vicinity. He comes from a place near Chicago. An abstract mental location. He has a special place in my thoughts. Assigned to, a job or a home. Finish second or better in a horse or dog race. He bet $2 on number 6 to place. Place somebody in a particular situation or location. He was placed on probation. Proper or appropriate position or location. A woman's place is no longer in the kitchen. Sing a note with the correct pitch. The passage that is being read. He lost his place on the page. To arrange for. Place a phone call. The piece of land on which something is located, or is to be located. Assign a location to. Physical position in relation to the surroundings. The sites are determined by highly specific sequences of nucleotides. A computer connected to the Internet that maintains a series of web pages on the World Wide Web. The Israeli website was damaged by hostile hackers. The piece of land on which something is located, or is to be located. A good site for the school. A social or business relationship. He was sorry he had to sever his ties with other members of the team. A fastener that serves to join or connect. Finish a game with an equal number of points, goals, etc. The teams drew a tie. Create social or emotional ties. One of the cross braces that support the rails on a railway track. The British call a railroad tie a sleeper. A horizontal beam used to prevent two other structural members from spreading apart or separating. He nailed the rafters together with a tie beam. Fasten or secure with a rope, string, or cord. They tied their victim to the chair. The finish of a contest in which the score is tied and the winner is undecided. Their record was 3 wins, 6 losses and a tie. Connect, fasten, or put together 2 or more pieces. Neckwear consisting of a long narrow piece of material worn, mostly by men, under a collar and tied in knot at the front. He stood in front of the mirror tightening his necktie. Perform a marriage ceremony. A cord, or string or ribbon or wire etc., with which something is tied. He needed a tie for the packages. Equality of score in a contest. Form a knot or bow in. Tie a necktie. Limit or restrict to. I am tied to Unix. Make by tying pieces together. The fishermen tied their flies. Music, a slur over 2 notes of the same pitch, indicates that the note is to be sustained for their combined time value. Unite musical notes by a tie. Make a logical or causal connection. I cannot connect these 2 pieces of evidence in my mind. Be or become joined or united or linked. The 2 streets connect to become a highway. Plug into an outlet. Establish communication with someone. Did you finally connect with your long-lost cousin? Connect, fasten, or put together 2 or more pieces. Can you connect the 2 loudspeakers? Be scheduled so as to provide continuing service, as in transportation. The local train does not connect with the Amtrak train. Establish a rapport or relationship. The president of this university really connects with the faculty. Hit or play a ball successfully. The batter connected for a home run. Join by means of communication equipment. The telephone company finally put in lines to connect the towns in this area. Join for the purpose of communication. Operator, could you connect me to the Raffles in Singapore? Land on or hit solidly. The brick connected on her head, knocking her out. A 2-way radio communication system, usually microwave, part of a more extensive telecommunication network. A fastener that serves to join or connect. The walls are held together with metal links placed in the wet mortar during construction. Make a logical or causal connection. Be or become joined or united or linked. The travelers linked up again at the airport. An interconnecting circuit between 2 or more locations for the purpose of transmitting and receiving data. Link with or as with a yoke. The means of connection between things linked in series. The state of being connected. A connecting shape. A channel for communication between groups. Connect, fasten, or put together two or more pieces. A unit of length equal to 1/100th of a chain. Computing. An instruction that connects one part of a program or an element on a list to another program or list. Make a logical or causal connection. Be or become joined or united or linked. Connect, fasten, or put together two or more pieces. Course consisting of a large landscaped area for playing golf. Course consisting of a large landscaped area for playing golf. A game played on a large open course with 9 or 18 holes. The object is used as few strokes as possible in playing all the holes. A game played on a large open course with 9 or 18 holes. The object is used as few strokes as possible in playing all the holes. Play golf.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.